Our coffee breaks with researchers aim to spread knowledge about regional development and innovation. By sending a camera around the world, we present you with different angles and insights on the topic. We ask researchers directly and in a personal manner about their work. We want to make scientific knowledge accessible to all.
Hi, welcome to Coffee Breaks with Researchers. Today, I'm at the Regional Innovation Policy Conference in Florence, and I'm having a coffee break with Rune Dahl Fitjar. He's a professor of innovation studies at the Center for Innovation Research in the UIS Business School at the University of Stavanger in Norway. Rune, thank you very much for accepting this invitation to my coffee break. We are both having a Colombian black coffee that I hope you are enjoying. How are you?
Very much, thank you. I'm doing very well, thanks.
I would like to talk with you about a paper you wrote in which you analyze whether high-density environments facilitate innovation for firms. Could you please tell me what the paper was about?
Yeah, so the paper is about how innovation collaboration starts and about essentially whether it starts by accident or as a result of a planned activity to identify a particular partner, and then whether these different types of collaborations lead to innovation.
And I see that an important notion of your research is local buzz. Could you please clarify it for me?
Yeah, so local buzz is the idea that there are some places, usually cities, where there is this kind of a buzz that there is something going on that we don't really know what it is, and often it is the idea that people meet at random and that good things happen as a result of those random meetings, and those good things are normally innovations, so people get new ideas from being in the buzz of the city.
Okay, and is this also related to the notion of global pipelines?
Yeah, so global pipelines is kind of the alternative innovation story, that places can't rely only on the kind of local encounters, they also need connections to other places. So global pipelines is the idea that places also need to be connected to the rest of the world, and that they can bring in new knowledge into the cluster by having these kind of targeted connections to other places.
Thank you for clarifying that. So based on these notions, which ones were your main findings?
So basically what we find is that innovation is rarely the result of this kind of local buzz or random encounters in cities, and more often the result of global pipelines and of targeted connections. So what we find is essentially that when innovation collaborations start, and then only in 1 of 5 cases did the most important collaboration start as a result of a random encounter, whereas in 4 or 5 cases it was a planned activity by the firm. They looked up, they did research on their partner and found the right partner for them. Then secondly, when we look at the impact of these collaborations on innovation, we find that when the partners met by accident, it didn't have any impact on innovation. I mean, the firms are not more likely to innovate if they collaborate with a partner that they have met by accident. Whereas if they planned and researched and found the right partner and used this kind of pipeline, then there is much higher likelihood that they will innovate as a result of the partnership.
Oh, that's indeed very interesting to know. And which was the main motivation that you have for doing this research?
Yeah, so basically it started from this kind of annoyance that we had, I think, of the urban bias that is in innovation studies, and about how innovation policy is often about these innovation districts or incubators or kind of co-working spaces, and where people are meant to meet by accident, and you can essentially stimulate innovation by encouraging people to meet in accidental locations and hope for the best, and that good things will happen. So I think this is an ideology that has been in policy, in consultancies, and also in research on this, that innovation takes place essentially as a result of random encounters in cities. And we just thought, based on what we've done before also in other papers, that this doesn't fit. This is not how innovation happens. We think innovation is much more the result of strategic activities by firms and by individuals. So people actively trying to innovate and trying to do something to get new ideas into the market.
Well, thank you. That's very interesting. So indeed, nothing is in the air. Which ones are the main policy implications based on that?
Yeah, so I guess the implication is mainly that policymakers should not rely on just putting people together and hoping for the best. That they should instead encourage firms and have policies that encourage firms to work much more strategically towards innovation. So I think firms need to find out who should they work to, who can deliver the knowledge and the competence that they need for their innovation projects, and then work on making those connections happen. So it's both the idea of bringing firms together with other key partners, and also building connections outside of the local environment so that you can bring in knowledge also from the outside.
Well, that's great to know. Thank you very much for clarifying that and presenting your paper. It was a pleasure for me to have you here in a coffee break, and hope to see you soon.
It's a pleasure, so mine. Thank you.
Thank you for watching. If you're interested in more details about this academic publication, please find here the link below. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.